Hi, my name is Ashley and I'm not anti-vax. So I'm restarting my YouTube channel because I want to keep my friends and my family in the loop about what's going on with my arm. And if you don't know, I recently have been diagnosed with SIRVA, which is shoulder injury related to vaccine administration. It's crazy. It's apparently rare, 100% preventable through anyone who gives a shot to be properly trained and to brush up on their training. But I want to tell anyone who's maybe stumbled upon this because they're having this kind of reaction or they've gotten this diagnosis, and then just being able to tell my friends and family what's going on, and you guys can hear it from me and not hear scary rumors or something weird. So to start from the beginning, a very good place to start, I was trying to stay up on my health, and I went and got a wellness check with my primary care. Everything was looking good and dandy, and I was super healthy. I've been working a lot on my fitness. And she said I needed one of the booster shots, and I was like, oh yeah, no problem. She said there would be a little bit of tenderness, a little soreness in my arm for the next 2 to 4 days after getting the shot. And I actually won't be disclosing the shot because it doesn't matter what shot it was. It matters totally about the administration of the shot. I got the shot. It hurt like a shot. I mean, I was braced for pain. I was ready for pain, but I don't think it stood out as being super painful. But I mean, it hurt. It didn't feel good. It wasn't a bee sting. It hurt. And the next day, it was obvious that something was majorly wrong. My arm hurt so much to move. I cried a lot. It was almost impossible to move it. I used to be able to kind of go like this. And I was like, wow, oh my gosh, that really hurts. And this is the shoulder, that the left arm is where I got the shot. But it wasn't just a soreness. And I've had a lot of people ask me oh, I recently got this vaccine or this flu shot or whatever, and my arm is feeling sore, am I okay? And I tried to reassure people with who think they have this, is you would really know. It was so painful. It still is so painful. I'm getting better at dealing with it. But for me, it was never sore. It always hurt. It was always painful. It wasn't maybe I had worked out too hard or slept the wrong way. It was radiating painful. So after I got the shot, I was Googling, how bad should this hurt? How long does this hurt? And 6 days in, I was like, okay, this is weird. 8 days in, I was pretty concerned. And days 9, 10, and 11, I had virtual doctor visits and then a real life visit again with my primary care doctor saying okay, this hurts. This doesn't seem right. I need help. I can barely move my arm because of pain, and because it's also it feels almost locked into place. And she, confirmed what a telehealth doctor had brought up, which was SIRVA. And I asked for an MRI, and she said no. She said that it would just show inflammation. So I was prescribed some painkiller and told to rest, ice, and heat. And I went home feeling a little defeated. The more I started to read about SIRVA online, which there's really not a lot to find online, it's kind of difficult to find. I have found that it's difficult to find because it's just a lot. When you Google it, it's a lot of lawyers wanting to take your case. It's hard to find people talking about their experience and their pain with this. But I did come across something that said an MRI is required. Usually MRIs and ultrasounds go hand in hand in diagnosing this. So I emailed my doctor, I advocated for myself, and I asked for an MRI. I got that MRI on August 14th, and it showed Synovitis, which is inflammation of the synovial fluid in my joint. So it's likely that my shot was administered directly into the synovial fluid of my joint. And they also found a labrum tear, which is the cartilage that sits in between the ball and socket joint. It sits in there, which is pretty deep in the shoulder, which means that it probably wasn't hit by the needle, but it could have been. The shoulder itself could have been dislocated because of swelling. Why? So today, as of August 20th, I'm doing oral steroids and I've started physical therapy. See kind of how that reacts. I have noticed that now, instead of like a constant state of pain, it's more like wavy. Usually I would like fluctuate, I guess, between like a 7 and a 9 pain level, and now I'm going between like a 3 and a 9, which is better because then when the pain's like kind of lower, you know, life is a little bit more manageable. I can go for a walk. I can shower more easily. That's really sad. And that's like the biggest thing that I'm noticing with the steroids. I don't know how long this is going to take. I have a lot of people who care asking me, you know, how long will this take? Like, when will you be better? And the answer is, I don't know. This could be better as soon as I finish the oral steroids. I could have to get injections of steroids directly into my shoulder. I could have to have like a minor surgery pulling that fluid out of my shoulder. I just don't know. It could be months, it could be years. It's been a pretty hard couple of weeks going from, you know, running and dancing and working out and like doing all the things that I want to do to pretty much sitting at home all the time, and it's just super, super painful. I do have a couple friends who come over and help me do things like cook dinner or braid my hair so that I can have my hair out of my face for a couple days. But it's pretty challenging, and I just encourage anyone who's feeling like they might have this. I know it's like something like there's like 6,000 cases a year. I read different numbers like here and there, but it is pretty rare. It can be totally avoided though by proper training and, you know, the person who administers the shot just slowing down. The only thing I can say, like, for anyone going to get a shot, don't wear something that you have to kind of pull down to get your shot. Wear a t-shirt that you can lift up. I wore a tank top and that didn't change anything, I guess, but at least giving them like full access to your arm will probably be better. And now that I know what I know about vaccines, my vaccine was given like right at the top of my shoulder, like way too high. Now that I know, like I didn't know then, I wouldn't have like spoken up and said something. But if someone's going in this high, I don't know if you can see, like if someone is going in that high, that's too high, and that could probably cause you an injury like this. I'm in the process of asking my primary care doctor for a diagnostic ultrasound to see if there's things that didn't show up on the MRI, because that's also weirdly common with SIRVA. So wanting to get both of those things. And it's a lot of advocating for myself and trying to educate the people who are going to be taking care of me from like articles I found on the internet. It's very frustrating, but I'm doing my best. I'll put some resources that I found helpful in the description box if you want to like learn more about this, or if you have questions, you can always comment and I'll try to comment back to anyone who might be going through this. It's a really isolating and lonely thing to have happen because there are so many people in the medical field who deny that this happens, and maybe they're denying it because it's 100% their fault. This wouldn't happen if they did their jobs correctly. And now here I am, like very sad girl because someone did their job incorrectly. So advocate for yourself. Don't be afraid to get vaccines. They do save a ton of lives, and they save a lot of children's lives. And they're really not something to be afraid of. I'm going to include some clips here, just different moments where I've like been going through it, trying to like show you guys and show you guys what I'm going through day to day. Today's Sunday, August 16th. I'm still waiting on my official MRI results, but I was able to read them myself in like my chart. So it looks like there's a tear in the cartilage, but I need the doctor to call me and tell me so that I just know like for sure. It feels so dramatic to like say this, but all I do is cry. It just like hurts all the time and so badly. So anyone who thinks like they might have this, like a friend of mine, after I like talked about having this, a friend of mine had to get a routine shot of theirs, and they were telling their nurse that they were so scared, and then they were telling me that their arm was like still sore, and like I just want to like reassure anybody, my arm never felt sore. immediately was just so painful. It wasn't just sore. Not to discredit anyone's pain, or anyone's soreness from a shot. Yeah, shots do hurt, but don't be afraid to get them. It's unreal pain. Hope it lets up soon. Today is August 20th. It's about 3:15 in the morning. I never really sleep anymore. It's so hard to fall asleep now because, obviously it's super painful, but I also, have so much anxiety now about falling asleep and sleeping in the wrong position. When I go to sleep with, heavier painkillers, and then, my brain will let me, lay on my left side, and then I'll be, in horrible, horrible pain. And it stinks. I'm on day 2 of the oral steroids that I'm taking to try to clear up the synovitis. And I started physical therapy today, but it was more just the intake day where they ask you all the questions about how you got the injury. And what sucks about that is my good arm got tired because my left arm never does any of the work anymore. But my physical therapist had never heard of this either. I've had a couple people in this journey kind of deny that this had anything to do with the vaccine, which is so heinous, and it makes me so mad for someone to insinuate that I just had this injury, had a random shoulder injury that was so bad I could barely move my arm and that I just cry all the time. I was just hiding that until I got a vaccine so I could blame it on that. No. I didn't even know I was going to get the vaccine when I went in for the wellness check. Ugh. I have roid rage, I guess. Okay. So, this works. But this... that's it. And here's the forward back. I'm pushing really hard, but it's stuck. That's it. That's all I have for this video update number 1. I hope that I have good news soon. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're going through this, know that you're not alone, and there are doctors and there are resources to help you fight through this, and I hope that I have better news soon. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe if you would like to see more of this, or if you would like to stay updated. I don't know how I will put this out into the world beyond just posting. I'm not sure if I'll pump it on my social medias because it's just such a heavy, hard thing to be going through. So the best way to keep up on this would be to just subscribe. I'm not sure again how often I will update, but I'll do my best. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring, and I'll see you next time. Bye.